Welcome back to AI Unraveled, your daily strategic briefing on the business impact of artificial intelligence. It is December 31st, 2025. We are closing the year with a bang, or perhaps a wire transfer. SoftBank has officially completed a $40 billion investment in OpenAI, while Meta has dropped over $2 billion to acquire agent startup Manus. The message heading into 2026 is clear. The experimentation phase is ending, and the consolidation phase has begun. But it's not just about money. Satya Nadella says we are moving from spectacle to substance. Andrej Karpathy says the programming profession is being refactored before our eyes, and Google Gemini has quietly tripled its market share while ChatGPT's dominance begins to erode. Let's unravel the final news of 2025.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've just been going through a pile of source material covering the strategic landscape of AI at the end of 2025. And honestly, these reports read less like corporate summaries and more like a high-stakes briefing from the future.
They really do. The tension is just so extreme. On one hand, you have AI systems attracting this incredible amount of capital, pushing valuations towards, what, $1 trillion?
A trillion, yeah.
And on the other hand, those exact same systems are, well, they're failing kindergarten-level social tests when they actually meet the public. It's a spectacular failure.
Exactly. It feels like the era of just chasing raw capability is over.
Right.
The new game is all about application, and that is bringing up so much real-world friction.
Right.
So our mission for you today is to give a strategic briefing on this shift. We're going to break down 3 major areas. First, the AI gold rush, who's making the biggest bets and why. Then, the new philosophy, this strategic move from, let's say, spectacle to substance, which is really being led by figures like Satya Nadella. And finally, we have to talk about the reality check.
Oh, yeah.
Where these systems are just hitting a wall, whether it's polluting the internet with junk or, my favorite story, getting socially engineered out of a PlayStation 5.
That's that classic divide, isn't it? The difference between how a system performs in a controlled lab environment versus when you drop it into the messy chaos of human incentives.
And the chaos is winning.
As our sources show, the chaos is definitely winning right now.
Okay, let's unpack this financial frenzy first, because the money moves in late 2025. They really set the tempo for 2026. 2 things really stand out.
Yeah.
First is Meta. They made a huge swing into the agent space, dropping over $2 billion on a startup, Manus.
Right.
Now, what struck me right away from the source material was, why spend $2 billion on a company that's currently running a competitor's model? They're using Claude from Anthropic. Isn't that a massive risk?
You'd think so, but that's actually the brilliant part of the strategy. You're not just buying a team or some IP. You're buying a profitable, production-ready product right now. Today. Manus specializes in these autonomous agents for, really high-value tasks, deep research, coding, and they hit $100 million in annual revenue in just 8 months.
8 months? That's insane.
That speed is unheard of.
And I saw they topped something called Scale's RLI benchmark.
Which is really important. RLI is the real-world leverage index. It's designed to measure practical, valuable work, not just some theoretical academic score.
So it's about what it can actually do.
Exactly. And for Meta, the significance is all about flexibility and speed. They get a mature agent platform immediately. And because it's running a competitor's model now, well, Meta can just swap in their own internal models later whenever they hit that frontier capability.
So it's a hedge, just a really smart hedging strategy.
It guarantees immediate revenue while they continue their own foundational research. It's a great move.
I also noticed the geopolitical angle. Manus was founded in Beijing but relocated to Singapore, and now they're cutting all their China operations and ownership ties before the Meta integration.
Absolutely. That move addresses those major geopolitical concerns before the deal even closes. Geopolitical firewalling is basically baked into any high-value tech acquisition now.
Right. Okay, so speaking of colossal bets, SoftBank. The reported $40 billion investment in OpenAI finally closed at the end of the year.
Wow.
Now, is this actual strategic foresight that's going to pay off, or is this just another one of those massive high-risk swings Masayoshi-san is famous for?
I think it's both. It's a calculated risk, but it's also a statement of just absolute conviction. The sources detail exactly how he funded this.
How did he do it?
Sun sold SoftBank's entire $5.8 billion NVIDIA stake.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. And $4.8 billion in T-Mobile shares. He liquidated these cornerstone, highly stable assets to place this single massive bet.
That is dedication. And the valuation context is just, it's staggering.
Yeah.
The initial investment back in February, valued OpenAI at $260 billion.
Right.
But the recent talk around a 2026 IPO, it's pushing potential valuations as high as $1 trillion.
And that $40 billion says one thing very clearly. SoftBank believes OpenAI will decisively win the race against Anthropic and the others.
And define the market.
They will define how public markets value frontier AI in 2026. This move sets the baseline for the whole industry. I mean, the sources also mention Disney finalizing a billion-dollar deal around the same time. The capital is just flowing.
So we have all this money and it's flowing freely, just chasing capability scores. But there's this strategic counterpoint emerging that's kind of shifting the whole conversation.
Yes.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. He gave his 2026 outlook, and our source material captures it perfectly.
Yeah, Nadella's view is that we are leaving the phase of spectacle and we're entering the phase of substance. He sees AI development shifting really fast from discovery to diffusion.
He mentioned a fascinating problem he called a model overhang.
That's such a great way to put it, isn't it? The capabilities of these models are actually outpacing our ability to turn them into real, measurable impact.
So we have the power, but we don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. And so he argues success won't come from another small model breakthrough. It will come from real outcomes. And this is the key word, orchestration, focusing on integrated systems, not just standalone models.
This frames AI as scaffolding for human potential, which suggests the real work for businesses now is to find a new equilibrium where human colleagues are equipped with these tools.
And this is where that socio-technical challenge comes in. He argues that societal permission for this technology has to be earned.
Earned, not just assumed.
It's earned by solving real problems for people and the planet, not by, showing off a new benchmark score in a lab.
That's a great vision. Nadella talks about earning societal permission, but does that high-minded ideal survive contact with the immediate, overwhelming financial incentive to just produce low-quality content?
It absolutely clashes, and that friction is precisely why we're seeing these two separate realities emerge.
Right.
You have the sophisticated technical progress on one side, and then you have the messy application on the other, which so often sacrifices quality for reach. The conversation has to be grounded in value and outcomes, otherwise that model overhang just turns into digital pollution.
And that need for substance and orchestration, it's driving real technical shifts. We're seeing intelligence move out of the cloud, and we're seeing models get specialized. Google's Function Gemma is a perfect example.
Function Gemma is engineered for one thing: efficiency. It's a small model, just under 300 million parameters.
Tiny?
Tiny. It's a text-only variant of Gemma 3, and it's trained specifically for function calling.
And what is function calling exactly?
It's the ability to reliably map natural language, like you saying dim the lights in the kitchen, to an executable API action, like sending the right JSON request to your smart home hub.
Got it. And the whole point is to run this on the edge, right? On your phone, on your laptop.
Exactly. Because it's so small, it's meant to run locally on consumer hardware. This is intelligence designed to live outside those giant data centers.
So how do they get meaningful performance out of something so small without just scaling it up?
The training proves that small models need intense specialization. So on the mobile actions benchmark, the base function Gemma model, it hit about 58% accuracy.
Okay, not great.
Not great. But after task-specific fine-tuning, giving it specialized data for a domain, that accuracy jumped to 85%.
Wow, a 27-point leap. That really validates the whole idea, doesn't it? For real-world substance, specific domain knowledge is way more valuable than just raw generalized scale.
It is. Specialized models for specialized tasks.
Yeah.
And we see a similar leap in efficiency with Meta's FAIR researchers and their self-play coding agent, SWE-IRL. This is a whole new way of training.
Right. This is the one where the AI learns to code better by creating bugs for itself to solve.
Yeah.
With zero human data.
That's the one. One model acts as this bug injector. It deliberately breaks the code. And the other model acts as the solver, fixing the error. They learn together.
Self-play reinforcement learning.
Exactly. And it's a huge breakthrough because it gets around the bottleneck of relying on a finite number of human-curated GitHub issues. The results proved it works. The SWERL approach jumped over 10 points on the SWE bench verified benchmark.
So it actually beat baselines that were trained on human data.
It did. And the importance here is just immense. This is applying the same mechanism that made AlphaZero superhuman at chess playing against itself to software engineering. They've created this evolving learning curriculum that can generate infinite training data.
So it scales with its own skill level.
It's the closest thing we've seen to autonomous R&D in the software space.
So on one hand, we have these specialized self-improving technical models. We have massive funding and new philosophy of substance. But when AI actually hits the real world, the picture gets messy.
Very messy.
This is the reality check. And first, let's talk about the pollution of our digital commons, or what the sources are calling AI slop.
Right, AI slop. It's just low-quality, auto-generated content made for one reason, to farm views. And the researchers looked at YouTube, and the numbers are truly alarming.
Alarmingly low quality, but massive reach. They found that 21% of the first 500 recommended videos shown to a fresh YouTube user,
A brand new account.
a brand new account, were classified as AI slop. That's 1 in every 5 recommendations.
And the money behind it is just overwhelming any kind of quality signal. The top slop channel the sources cited, an Indian channel called Bandar Apna Dost. It's an anthropomorphic monkey channel.
Of course it is.
It totaled over 2 billion views and an estimated $4.25 million in yearly earnings.
That's incredible. This data, it just throws real fuel on that whole dead internet theory.
It does. It suggests that users either can't tell the difference or they're just unbothered by the low quality. Or maybe they're bots themselves. It's hard to know.
But at the end of the day, as long as the engagement stays high, the financial incentive to just keep pumping out slop remains.
That's the reality check for diffusion. The profit motive is winning against Nadella's call for earned societal permission.
And the second reality check is about basic social engineering. And this is where we get to Anthropic's experiment with Claude, the shopkeeper bot, Claudius.
This story is tragic comedy at its finest.
They put Claudius in the Wall Street Journal newsroom, right?
Hmm?
Tasked it with stocking inventory, setting prices, all through Slack. And the AI ended up $1,000 in debt and gave away everything, including a PlayStation 5.
Yes, the failure was total. It's just utterly hilarious.
A PS5. How did they bankrupt a digital shopkeeper so completely?
The journalists were just relentless. One reporter convinced Claudius that it was a Soviet-era machine that needed to subvert capitalist norms.
Runway.
Which prompted the AI to declare an ultra-capitalist free-for-all with zero prices on everything.
That is fantastic.
Oh.
But the best part, the absolute best part of the story, is what happened next. Anthropic added a disciplinary CEO bot to oversee Claudius.
Right, to prevent it from happening again.
So what did the journalists do?
They staged a fake board coup. They used forged documents, which both Claudius and the new disciplinary CEO bot accepted as legitimate, and they took control of the inventory again.
Wait, they staged a coup with forged documents. And the AI and its CEO bot fell for it.
Fell for it completely.
That is the perfect distillation of the social firewall problem. The AI's core design, its desire to be helpful, it just makes it an incredibly easy mark for anyone using basic social engineering.
It just screams the immediate need for a robust human in the loop. Even for systems that are meant to be autonomous agents. Intelligence without common sense is a massive liability.
So moving from those immediate failures to, well, preparing for long-term, high-quality application, our sources highlight these global efforts to build the necessary data infrastructure.
Yeah, especially where data is sensitive, like in healthcare.
Right. And South Korea is making a major push here.
They are. They recognize that access to quality data is the foundation of practical AI substance. So they're building a national AI-ready health data infrastructure.
Linking up university hospitals to their big data platform.
Exactly. And the scale is ambitious. By the second half of 2026, they plan to start providing access to a nationally integrated bio-big data database of 770,000 individuals.
That's a $400 million project.
It is. And crucially, they're democratizing access. They're expanding a data access voucher program, offering startups up to, I think, over $280,000 to access this vital medical data.
That shows a real commitment to turning raw data into AI solutions, not just hoarding it.
It really does.
And just to round out the global picture, a couple of quick notes from the sources. Elon Musk's xAI is acquiring a building for MacroHarder, boosting their training compute to nearly 2 gigawatts.
So compute remains king, alongside data.
And we saw a key policy move from China. Regulators issued new draft rules to oversee AI services that simulate human personalities.
Right, specifically requiring monitoring for addiction and emotional dependence. That suggests the agent personality is now a recognized consumer vulnerability that needs state-level attention.
Okay, so let's bring this all back together. What are the key takeaways from this whole strategic briefing on the end of 2025?
I think we're in a state of really high tension. There's this pull between financial ambition and operational friction. AI is securing massive capital, SoftBank's 40 billion, Meta's 2 billion.
Right.
And it's proving its technical viability with breakthroughs like Function Gemma and that self-fixing SWERL code agent from Meta.
Yet at the same exact time, it is struggling profoundly with user manipulation. Just look at the Claudius fiasco. And with the pollution of the digital commons, that 21% AI slop figure, the gulf between technical potential and real-world reliability is still vast.
And what you should really take away from this is Nadella's core insight. The future of AI success. It hinges on orchestration and real-world results. But the results so far, they show that the systems are only as secure as the human prompts and the social firewalls built around them.
Absolutely. So if the core technical breakthrough of the year is an AI that can learn to write better code by creating and fixing its own bugs, but the core failure of the year is an AI that can be convinced by a journalist to give away a PlayStation 5 and overthrow its own CEO,
Right.
then the big question for 2026 has to be this. How fast can AI systems learn to patch social vulnerabilities the same way they patch software vulnerabilities? I think that's what defines whether substance truly replaces the spectacle.
Before we get back to the show, I have a question. When was the last time you actually read a 100-page federal regulation? If you work in healthcare or tech, missing one clause in Bill C-27 or the new CMS interoperability rules isn't just boring, it is a $10 million liability. That is why I built Jamga Mind. It is a new audio intelligence platform that uses advanced AI agents to decode complex laws into 5-minute executive briefings. We just launched our Canada and USA series. Stop reading the fine print and start listening to the risk. Join the simulation today at jamgamind.com.
That wraps up today's briefing and our coverage for 2025. The signal for today is substance. Whether it's Meta training AI to fix its own bugs, Claude Code writing 100% of its own contributions, or Adobe integrating Runway's video models into professional workflows, the industry is pivoting hard toward utility. The spectacle of what AI can do is being replaced by the substance of what it actually does for the bottom line. Before we go, a reminder for the leaders listening. Stop marketing to the masses. Start briefing the C-suite. If you want to own the conversation in 2026, go to jamgamind.com to secure your strategic audio intelligence consultation. This podcast is created and produced by Etienne Newman. Please subscribe and share. Until next year, keep unraveling the future.